everyone, my name is Xuân Thùy.
And my name is Khoa.
We're students at Nguyễn Khuong Secondary School. Today, coming to the first English-speaking festival, our school will introduce to you guys a wonderful, attractive and developed country.
But before we get into the video, we have a special guest to introduce.
Come in. She's Stray Boy Bear, and can you introduce yourself?
여러분, 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 제고배입니다. nguyễn 중학교에 다니고 있습니다. 제 교황은 한국입니다. 한국은 아시아에서 가장 발전되고 부강한 문명국 중 하나입니다. 감사합니다.
With these clothes, these accent, and this beauty, what do these remind you of? Maybe a country? Can you guess what it is? Exactly, it's Korea.
Thank you, Stray Boy Bear. And that's also the country that we're gonna show you in this video. We're gonna tell you all of the information about the history, geography, the education, and as well as the culture of Korea, and many more charming things of this country. And Khoa, are you ready to find more interesting things about this country?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, now let's go. So, Korea wasn't always divided into two Koreas that we know today. As for why it became this way, its history actually dates all the way back to centuries ago when the first kingdom was formed.
After years of history of feuds between the North and the South, however, South Korea, at least to the world, has come out on top as the better country. Now, can you give us a little bit of background on this?
Now, can you give me some information about the history of Korea?
Alright, so the history of Korea began in 2333 when the first kingdom, Gojoseon, was founded by Nguyen, consisting of East China, Manchuria, and the Korean peninsula. The early kingdom didn't last long, however, as it succumbed to the Chow and the Han due to continuous invasions. Its collapse spawned the small kingdoms of the Proto-Three Kingdom period, which later then coalesced into the mightier kingdoms of Goryeo, Silla, and Bakje. So, Silla eventually overpowered the other two kingdoms, creating unified Silla in 668 BCE, lasting for 267 years until falling to Goryeo in 933. And Joseon, born from the collapsed Goryeo in 1392, also ruled the entire peninsula until Japan annexed Korea in 1910.
Oh, and this part, I think I know. It is when the South and the North division happened, right?
Yeah, that's right. So with the surrenderance of Japan, in agreement, the Soviet troops took over Northern Korea and US troops occupied Southern Korea, thus dividing Korea at the 38th parallel. In the politics of the Cold War resulted in the 1948 establishment of two separate governments, North Korea and South Korea. As we've previously mentioned, the North Korea has been and still is under communist rule, while South Korea, under the protection of the US, turned democratic. The difference is clear between the two countries, yet the similarities are still visible. Their culture, language, among other aspects, such as the geographical aspect. Lam, take it away.
Thanks, Ngọc. South Korea is a country located in East Asia, on the southern half of the Korean peninsula, located on the Far East of Asia, with a landmass of approximately 100,032 square kilometers. The only country with a land border to South Korea is North Korea. South Korea is mostly surrounded by water and has 2,413 kilometers of coastline along three seas.
That's really long.
Yeah, I know. Like the Sea of Japan, the Yellow Sea, and the East China Sea. South Korea lies in the northern and the eastern hemisphere, where summers are usually hot, long, and humid, and winters are usually cold, dry, and also long.
Seeing as Korea is as large as it is, it must have a lot of tourist attractions, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Korea is a country with plenty of jaw-dropping scenery that would definitely catch my, yours, and everyone's eyes, some of which includes Jeju Island, a volcanic island with the highest point named Halasan, a volcano that's almost 2 kilometers tall and the highest mountain in South Korea. The island measures approximately 73 kilometers from east to west and 41 kilometers from north to south.
It's a really big island.
Yeah, it also houses a lot of tourist attractions like the Cheoncheon Falls, the Jongbang Falls, etc. Nami Island is the half-moon-shaped island located in Chuncheon, Gangwon Province, South Korea. Formed as the land around it was inundated by the rising water of the North Han River as a result of the construction of Cheongpyeong Dam in 1944. Kyunghee University is also a famous tourist attraction. It's regarded as one of the best universities in Korea. It is also voted as one of the most beautiful universities in Seoul. With its Gothic architecture and well-groomed gardens, it's really reminiscent of a European town.
Oh right, speaking of universities, South Korea is also famous for its education, right?
Yeah,
It's also famous globally for its world-class education system. And I think that's what we're gonna talk about next, actually.
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for talking.
Thank you for talking.
Yeah.
Let's go. South Korea is also famous for its education. In fact, it's in the top 20 in the world in terms of education, with mathematics and literature being second in the world. There are some universities in South Korea that are recognized as one of the top universities in the world, with modern facilities and well-qualified professors. To explore this topic in a bit more detail, I think we'll visit another person who I think will be quite knowledgeable about this.
Oh,
Toàn
so Toàn and Danh. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Oh, so Danh, can you tell me some information about the Korea's education?
Oh, as you know, the people in South Korea are students, from the children to the adult. They appreciate their study and attempt to reach the value of study. So that's the reason why South Korea is well known for its education. And about the education curriculums, they are divided into 5 levels. First of all, is nursery school for students from 1 year to 6 years old. Secondly, is the primary school for the student at the age of 7 to the age of 12. Thirdly, is the junior high school for students from 13 years old to 15 years old. And fourthly, is the senior high school for students from 16 to 18 years old. And fifth and final levels is the college curriculums in 2 to 3 years, and universities curriculums in 4 years.
Interesting. So the Korean curriculum I see is very elaborate and very well thought out. But I've been wondering that does the Korean curriculum implement STEM into the everyday subjects like technology and science?
STEM, so good, right?
Yeah.
Good questions. South Korea is one of the world's technological powerhouse thanks to its non-ending efforts of researching and application of knowledge from science and technologies. And for example, some brand names that you may recognize like Samsung or LG, you may probably own but are too familiar with the brands. They are not owned and raised globally.
Absolutely. The exactly reason why all the schools in Korea have implemented STEM into all the subjects and even making its own dedicated subjects.
Oh, and I was wondering though, like, due to the Korea's climate, what do the students wear on each occasion?
Oh, the climate. The male students in South Korea wear shirts, pants, and ties when they go to school, and female students wear shirts, ties, or ties and skirts when they go to school in the summer. And in the winter, they all wear the sweaters and jackets to prevent them from the cold of South Korea.
Oh, I see. So, but are those things that you said before related to the Korea's culture?
Yes, of course. The studio tradition is one of the most important cultures of this land of kimchi. And there are all the beautiful cultures that we want to tell you. And it's your turn, Toàn.
Yes.
So, Toàn, can you tell us some information about the Korea's culture? Because I heard from the history that its culture is very rich. So, can you please give us some insights into this topic?
Yes, of course. So, firstly, the alphabet that most people use in Korea, Hangul, was created in the 15th century by Emperor Sejong. The language is also known to be easy on the pronunciation and also famously easy to grasp even when you're a complete beginner. An equally important part is the communication culture. Korean people pay great attention to how to say hello because they think it's a meaning of politeness. To friends and peers, they often bow their heads and bodies. As for the older people, they hand a class slightly like this and they bow their heads and bodies too. Might I add, I was also impressed by the working culture. when Koreans work. They always respect the time, be straightforward, serious, and maybe really responsible. Happy in Korea to become one of the 4 Asian tigers, also known as the 4 fastest growing in Asia, consisting of Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, and of course South Korea, with an outstanding development in the term of economy and society. Both of these factors will prove that people of South Korea always obey the rules. They are polite and respect everyone without them. They especially really love their country too.
So how about the festival?
About the festival, Korea is also well known for the charming ritual music, the tantrum Mexican culture, and beautiful ensemble temples, building the typical of Korea. With the 2 pagodas, Sakuram and Bukusa, having been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1995. Korea is also known as the land of kimchi. When talking about this country, we cannot forget to mention this famous dish because of its high nutritional value and deliciousness. So it is present in almost every meal of the people in Korea. There is also bulgogi, a barbecue dish that when translated to English is literally fire meat. Appropriate how fire it is. This is really familiar to Koreans too.
Wow, Korea culture is even more fascinating than I thought it would be.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Same to you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Okay. Wow. That was so engaging, wasn't it? Hearing all about Korean education and culture.
Yeah, hearing all about the kimchi and the bulgogi almost made me draw out of the face.
Well, so why don't you go and find more information about the cuisine?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, I'll go right now.
Okay, it's your turn. Oh, so quick to run away and they have already left. So I think I might find information about the topic that I most like. Well, the fashion. Okay, now come with me. Nice to meet you, Quang.
Yeah, hello there. Nice to meet you too. Thank you.
I have heard that you're quite experienced with the fashion industry in Korea. Can you give me some information about it?
Yeah. So, are you looking to know more about it?
Yes.
Yeah. Then to start off, I have a question for you. What comes to mind when you think of Korean clothes and Korean fashion?
I think they look quite nice and comfy.
Yes. Nice answer. Fashionable, good-looking, but still simple with several styles. This is how we describe Korean fashion. But when we talk about Korean clothes, we cannot skip the hanbok, the traditional Korean clothes.
Yes.
Yeah, since the hanbok embodies the Korean history, culture, etiquette, and spirit, it becomes such a special and typical part of the Korean culture that everybody knows it very well. Yeah, and did you know that in the mid and early Joseon dynasty, however, the hanbok is a little different from the one we know, and that the shape of the hanbok is from the late Joseon dynasty is the one we know today.
Oh, really? Can you give me more information about it?
Yeah, over the time the hanbok has changed, maybe a lot, and it's been worn by Korean on special occasion, like their wearer's first birthday, coming of age ceremony, and weddings, and so much more.
But I wonder, aren't all the hanbok out of fashion right now due to them being so old?
No, not quite. In fact, Korean is still worn hanboks, and hanbok have been modernized so as to be more fashionable and suitable. For instance, recently a girl K-pop group, do you know who they are?
Oh, let me see. Blackpink?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and they presented their new music video, How You Like That, with exotic modernized hanbok. And this amazed a lot of people who watched their performance. And there are some brands which have a lot of types of modern hanbok.
Really? Can you give me some names?
Yeah, there are some, but I just remember, notably Lizzo. Yeah.
Okay.
Recently, this brand has introduced their products by having a collaboration with Card, another K-pop group.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah, and the development and reservation of the hanbok are still ongoing thanks to the amazing efforts from the Korean communities and sports from all around the world. And nowadays, the Korean culture has changed and developed, and so has their fashion trends too. Korean fashion is often heralded as some of the best in the world, and soon it's quickly becoming the fashion capital definitely in Asia. And their fashion trends is becoming more and more popular by the day. And lately, there are various colors existence of fashion brand, which are very well known to most people. Namely, like High Stylanda, a second Beyond Closet, with a lot of fashion trends.
Yeah, I know some of them and I have looked through their designs and wow, it's perfect.
Yes, of course, indeed. So, in my opinion, I think that Koreans have clever ways of wearing and matching their outfits depending on the weather and the special occasion. They can easily have appropriate and gorgeous outfits for themselves nowadays. Therefore, our fashion trends are affected by Korean fashions. This is obviously recognized in our communities. Most people in Vietnam and other nations are following this trend so as to be more fashionable and good looking.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for the huge insight that you give me into the fashion trends as well as the traditional clothing in Korea.
Yeah.
And see you later.
Yeah, see you later.
So I was wondering though, how Khoa doing?
Hello.
Hi there. Okay, I got told that you're very knowledgeable in Korean culinary arts. Can you tell me more about it?
Yes, certainly. One of the things that Korea is most famous for is its unique and special cuisine with a wide variety of food and specialty. Korean cuisine is a customary cooking tradition and practice of the culinary arts of Korea. It has evolved through centuries of social and political change, changing and adapting to be appropriate with the living conditions of the Korean people with time. Now let's take a look at some Korean dishes, shall we? These meals are what Koreans eat every single meal. The typical Korean meal is carefully set following the rules of traditional dining culture. It was customary for each person to be served with a separated table, plated with side dishes, main dish, and fermented sauce.
Can you tell me what these foods are?
Yeah, it is cooked rice, seaweed soup, kimchi, yellow pickle radish, fermented soybean paste, fermented chili paste, bibimbap, tteokbokki, jjajangmyeon, and grilled ribs and herbs and vegetables.
Right. I've also heard that aside from these amazing dishes, Korea is also known for its ginseng. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, I was about to anyway. Ginseng is a species of plant whose root is the original source of ginseng. It is a perennial plant that grows in the mountains of East Asia. They are rich of nutrients and especially used as medicine for common people. Many tourists who travel from Korea usually buy ginseng as a precious and nutritious gift.
Okay, I've noticed that Korean food is quite popular among us Vietnamese and really the whole world, isn't it?
Oh yes, that's right. Korean cuisine is popular all over the world. It's symbolic of Korea.
Right.
If you have a chance, I think you should try Korean food at least once. Maybe it will be an unforgettable moment. Korean cuisine is very wonderful, attractive, and unique as well.
Right. Well, thank you for the fantastic introduction into the world of Korean cuisine.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Thank you.
Okay, see you later. Bye.
Oh, haven't seen you for a while, Quang.
Oh, thanks. It hasn't been that long though. Now, tell me, what else have you learned about Korea when I left?
I explored the fashion and the traditional clothing in Korea with Quang. I really like the hanbok and I want one for myself.
Sounds good.
Yes, of course. And how about you?
So I met Nghi and I'm really thankful that I did. I learned all about Koreans' very special culinary arts and all about their traditional foods like kimbap, kimchi, all of that. That was really good. Can we go get Korean after this?
Yes, but before we do that, we have one last thing that we have to talk when we talk about Korea. It's really popular and famous all around the world. Can you guess?
I wonder what it is. K-pop? K-dramas?
Yes, it's Korean entertainment, and I know through people they are really into this topic, so I think they can give us their best understanding about it.
Okay, let's go then.
Okay, let's go.
Hey guys, it's so nice to meet you.
Wow, it's so nice to meet you as well.
Yeah, hello. So I know from the past that you guys consumes a lot of Korean entertainment, such as K-dramas or K-pops. And Quang told me before that, like K-dramas had a big influence on our fashion styles right now. So is that true?
Yes, it is true that K-pop has inspired and influenced our style a lot. For instance, Park Seori hairstyle, a character from the Itaewon class, delicate workplace style from her private life has become a trend.
Besides glorious fashion and significant movie scenes, Korean movies are also famous for creative contents and plots, which contributed a lot to the global film industry.
Can you tell more detail about the Korean film industry?
Yeah, surely. Many films take inspiration from hot issue in our society, and taking Parasite as an example. This film become famous and become known as the first Korean films that win an Oscar.
Well, many other films are remade from horrible cases in order to disclose crimes and raise awareness about these problems. One of the most typical films in this category is Hope 2013.
Yeah, or many films that are about the family relationship that take the deepest point in our heart, like Miracle in Cell number 7, 2013, or The Preparation, 2017.
Wow, this film sounds like very interesting. But if I recall correctly, Korea is really famous with their TV series, right?
Yeah, that's right. Aside from the development of the film industry, Korea is also famous for TV series, also known as K-dramas. Well, they contain a variety of plots as well as various soundtracks.
Earlier you've said that Korean film industry contributed a lot to the global film industry. Can you go into a bit more detail as to how it did?
Yeah, sure. It's all because of the Hallyu wave, which wave increased global popularity of South Korean culture, and it takes an important role in popularity of the movie and soundtrack. And in the 1900s, Korean music switched to integrate European style and to avoid the rejection. And at the time, there were many popular music in K-pop, like trot, rock, hip-hop, and also K-pop nowadays.
So, did you guys know that K-pop has first appeared since 1997? Well, at the time, there are many famous groups such as SES, GOD, or HOT.
And over the past 2 decades, Korean music industry has been developing and becoming one of the largest industry of music in the world. And do you guys know about PS Coalition 30 Horse?
Oh, wait, I think I know this. It's from Gangnam Style, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. This is the first Korean song that reached 1 billion views on YouTube, and it is in the top 5 of most watched music videos in the world. Well, also the horse dance went viral and paving the way for the next K-pop generation.
Yeah, exactly. The later generation, they are famous and also talented as well. So that BTS, over the last few years, this boy band just continuously achieved lots of international awards. And recently, with the Dynamite song, they have suddenly broken many records and become the first boy group from Asia to be on the Billboard chart top 5 for more than 21 weeks. And they also brought the great economic source for Korea from the sport and tourism.
Alright, so all these modern achievements are amazing and all, but I can't help but wonder what part traditional Korean music played in all of this. Because recently I've seen that incorporating elements from traditional music into modern music is in fashion right now.
Well, it's like you've read my mind. Well, it's all thanks to the combination of Korean traditional music and Western music, so that the modern Korean music is so colorful and full of variety as it is right now.
Yeah, like many countries, Korean musical instruments, they also date back to the ancient time, and it's divided to three main groups. It's percussion, string, and also wind instruments.
So to recap, through the combination and the propagation of the Korean wave, movies have contributed in taking the image of Korean traditional musical instruments to the viewers, and also many K-pop artists have taken the traditional sound into their songs so that it will become popular.
Thank you so much, Du and Trân, for going into so much detail and for the Korean entertainment industry. We'll see you later.
We'll see you too.
Thank you so much.
왜들 그리 다운돼 있어 뭐가 문제야 say something 분위기가 겁나 싸해 요새 이런 게 유행인가 왜들 그리 재미없어 아 그건 나도 마찬가지 Tell me what I got to do 급한 대로 블루투스 켜 아무 노래나 일단 틀어 아무거나 신나는 걸로 아무렇게나 춤춰 아무렇지 않아 보이게 아무 생각하기 싫어 아무개로 살래 잠시 I'm sick and tired of my everyday Keep it up 한 것도
Hello.
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 Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey guys. Hello. So, hey, overall, what have you learned about Korea as a country?
So, Korea is an absolute must-visit country with cultural diversity, beautiful destination, and is one of the most developed economies in Asia.
Isn't that right, guys?
Yes!
So, we sincerely hope that this video has helped you become more knowledgeable about the land of the kimchi. Thanks for watching!
Thanks for watching! Bye!
Hello you guys, welcome to our English Speaking Contest Festival. My name is Choi, okay, right?
The cameraman is a little cat. Where does this come from? Oh crap. So it was about to get run over. Oh my god. That's so cute. Miss Behind the scene, Miss. Nói chào khán giả rồi, Miss. Thành Hải là butcher. Damn bro. Ủa bơi để xíu đổ càng. Sao giờ mình tự tập đây? Audio mà.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn.
Can we?